In this video help, I'm going to show you how to navigate to the customer side of the application to add information there. And we're going to look at, let's go over there. We're going to open up this screen so that we can see the current appointment. We're going to jump into this appointment area. There's two ways to go to the back end of the app. You can edit from a current appointment by clicking this arrow, and we'll come back to show you how this is filled in. You can go to the booking list, or you can go to the main menu. In this case, I'm going to go to the booking list. In the booking listing, what you basically have is all the clients that are currently in the database as far as current customers. This is the information, and it's the most used information, like their name, address, telephone number, service dates, the last time they had a service date, the type of animal they have, and also the basically when you're using this, you can pick the green arrow over here to pick the client you want to go to. If there are hundreds of people in this list and you want to find them very quickly, you use the find mode. And in the find mode, what you basically do is click here, go over to a name, address, phone number, or whatever you know that you have information for, and you type it in. Like I'm going to type in Ben for Ben Franklin. And I don't even have to finish it or put it capitalized, and I can say perform the find, and then Ben will show up. If you are in this particular screen and you use the find, the one thing you want to do when you come back, if you only see one record, is to click on the show all records, and what that'll do is brings back all the records that are currently in the app, in the database. You can show and hide the menus, and this happens whenever you see this button at the top of the screen. On the server, cloud server, it would show and hide that menu. On the iPad, it'll show and hide the iPad menus. And on the runtime application for the desktop, it shows and hides that menu. Normally, all the buttons and anything you will need as far as navigating and using the application are included in the application. Let's go ahead and click on my name up here, and I'm going to go into the record. Normally, when you add a new person, you would fill in the fields. If they're an individual customer and not a business, you would put in the information here. You would then, if they had a business and they were someplace where you would actually go to their business, you'd put in the business information here. If they're billing you through the business, then you definitely want to have the business information. Once you add a person's name and information in here, they'll be added to the list over here, and you can pick the icon and click on it. For example, I can switch between them very quickly. There's an individual without a company, or I can come back to this one. Then you have a situation over here where on this screen, these are called UDF fields. For example, you can put in a title and anything you want below that. Again, another title and so forth, and you can have an infinite number of these. There is many, many ways to use this particular information screen. For example, you can have the animal's name in here. You can have what services they normally get. If you have the pet has certain requirements about it, or say for example you want to put just each individual pet breed and so forth and information about them, and then change it and put something else for this client's record, this will be the information for this client. If you move to another record, you'll notice that it changes. So this information for this client would be then added in the UDFs. Now in this particular space, as you see, if you pick the person's name, then all the information that follows this screen and all these tabs are about this client. So let's go back to me again, and I'm going to go into the next screen. In this screen, what we're doing is we're scheduling the individual appointments in this screen that are related to this particular client. So as each time this client comes in and it gets on the calendar, the next thing you want to do after going to the booking screen where you put the new appointment in is to come over here and pick the drop downs and put the appropriate information in here. For example, the animal name, the type of animal it is as far as, and you can modify these by the way, what the animal is as far as long hair, large dog, small dog, short hair, whatever, as far as the dog, as far as the type of service that you might have to provide basically by the dog. This would be the calendar, the date that the appointment is, the actual kind of thing that you're doing for the animal. And this also can be edited by going through these particular screens here, which we'll discuss in a second. The time of the appointment, the actual contact that you're going to be going to see, which comes right off the main calendar over here. So you can add that. the kind of site that you're going to as far as the status. In this particular case, the status can be changed. For example, if you're doing a quote, the quote would be what you're doing. If you're looking at the pending services, then pending services would be here. This particular time I'm going through the application, these are not colorized yet, but they will be by the type of activity that you're actually doing. Like if somebody canceled a service, it might be red. I will be adding those to the application so they're available within the application. So as you add each new thing that this client's doing on a new line, each time they have a new appointment in a different service, what you're doing, and I talked about this before, what this does is it goes back to the appointment. So if I go back by clicking this piece of information here, that button, you'll see that they will be listed in this area. The newest one will be at the top, and the purpose for having this is that when you're setting up an appointment for a client and you're looking at this and you're looking at a particular date, for example, maybe I'm scheduling this for the 4th month, 4th day. These are old records, for example, sample records. But I can look down here very quickly and see if there's another appointment scheduled for that same date and time. If there is, you may not want to put that date and time in there, or you might consider who is actually going to do the service, and if they're free and you're looking at their calendar, you will see if they have free time during that particular period of time. Or you may want to pop back out and look at the actual calendar dates and see if that particular person by their name has an opening on that particular period of time. Now, to make this simple to go back and re-edit this, you just click on the arrow and it takes you back. You go ahead and put it in the record here, click this one time. It's going to take you back to that particular appointment, and now you can see that appointment right here again. If you're adding it, if you've already added it here and you're going to change it in the other schedule, or if you scheduled it in the calendar and then came here, you can do it either way. There is a portal record that is off of this, and what it does is it shows the information we viewed slightly. This is if in case you want to delete the record, you can still edit it in here, but if you want to delete it, you use the delete button. And you can jump from this screen also right back to the appointments if you needed to. So you can maneuver pretty much in one click to anywhere in this area. Now, I'm going to make this a two-part. I'm going to go back to here and then back into the scheduling, because I'm going to cover billing, payments, location, all this information next, and it's too long for this video to try to cover all this right now.